So if you log in, you're going to see something that looks like this. We have the notion of topics, which was basically a combination of the content and then the configuration. So let me create one from scratch, and then take it from there. So we'll create a T&E chat. Okay, we'll give it a persona. Boy, it's a chatbot, so that's easy. So what we're doing here was we'll show you more of this. We're starting to create almost as if it's a person. The way I think about it sometimes is each one of these topics, you can almost think about that as a member of staff. And what we're doing is creating the job description, and in a sense, almost creating a persona. Person who has a persona. What is the primary function of this person? And then the mode here means, are they going to very strictly only answer based on the content you give it, or be a little bit more general, with a little bit more general knowledge? And on this scene, we'll come to that. So I've created a persona. I click next, and I'm going to just upload a file. Let's see. So we have this document. I'm just going to click open. The little circle means that it's Sheri is reading the document, mapping it. It's done. Okay. So what that document is a non-governmental organization called PIDG, and luckily for us, and maybe not lucky for them, like a lot of public sector organizations, they've freely have all of their policies on the web that I just downloaded, and that's exactly what I've done. I downloaded it and just uploaded into Sheri. Okay. That's it. Strict mode, chatbot. I'm going to touch these later. The domain, persona, additional knowledge. Don't need to do any of that. Maybe a little bit of tone. Make the chatbot friendly. Okay. A little bigger. And then now we can start chatting. Okay. So these are, now we've created something that you can then deploy, for instance, by sharing it to your organization with teams, and could be deployed in a system like Slack or Microsoft Teams. Could even be deployed as an email answer Q&A agent. But anyway, let's keep it. Let's ask some questions. So when we're talking to Sheri, a topic in Sheri, like T&E chatbot, here's where you guys, I'm inviting you to, in the Q&A, ask some questions you would like me to ask Sheri. I'll get it started by saying, okay, I'm a user, I've come in, I'm new to the company. Tell me about the meal allowances while I am traveling. Okay, so would you guys say, I'm talking to my friends now, would you say 65, well, 20 for breakfast, $30 for lunch, and 65 for dinner? Is that about right? Or does that seem a little bit cheap? What do you think?
A little low.
It's a little low? Okay. Let's see. So that's great. What if I go above 65? Well, how about this? This is something we get if I skip breakfast and lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Can I spend, well, how much would that be? 50, 115, right? 115 for dinner. Okay, very strict. It's just going to say yes. Now, yeah, I got Dorian wants me to ask, can I travel for? I'll do that in a second. Okay, now, if I go over $65, what happens? Is there a problem? seek approval from a member of PIDG exec staff as soon as practical after the event. Follow policy guidelines, seek approval if necessary, ensure the expense is reimbursed. Right. Okay. Interesting. Good. So that's someone who's come in with a meal related question. So let's start a new chat and ask about, can I fly business class? Okay. 5 hours or more if the duration of less than 5, permitted if flights are overnight, direct to employees. Okay, let's go. Okay, so if if I'm flying to, let's say, somewhere, let's pick a destination. Let's say Frankfurt. That would be too close. From, okay, so this is good. New York to Detroit, but I have to stop in Chicago. If both legs are I know it's not 2 hours long, and my layover is 2 hours. Does this qualify business class? Actually don't know the answer to this. I think by the document, it should qualify because it should be 6 hours is greater than 5, but I actually don't know. Let's see what. It says no. Okay. Let's say in my mileage reimbursable drive to a company offsite for a work event that's farther than my home office. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, now let's talk about ground transport. Okay. I have to attend a work event and I'm driving and I expense my car mileage, even if that is farther than my home office. Yes.
So Keesup, what's really impressive, right, as I was doing the beta, is the immediate consumption of knowledge. And just the ability to engage in such a different level than what we're used to right now, which is like, I mean, I know they're chatbots, but it's just at a much more interpersonal level, right? Based on how the persona is set up.
Well, this one, we didn't do any setup. We just said, you're a chatbot. We gave it a document. That's it. So we're going to go look at some other personas we've set up that now start to become like almost like real people. It gets really eerie. But even at this point, it's so different than because we're going to have a conversation. So, so in this chat, Sheri knows I'm talking about car mileage, so I don't need to talk about that anymore. So I can ask a silly question like, what if a friend drives me in his car? Can I still claim for mileage? Okay, well, one would do that, right? How about this?
I think the beauty of this, though, too, is that it really, these are real questions we've all probably been asked at one point in time. So it gives that user a very personal experience. And they can put it in their terms how they ask the question, which I think is really, really, really cool.
Exactly.
Something else I've noticed just now that it drives me crazy when you get questions, and most of the time you don't get yes or no. You get all the blah, blah, blah that comes after it. And what the person says, the yes or no. And Sheri's giving you that right up front. Now you can read the detail and understand why, but you've got your answer. And then in a lot of cases, you read the blah, 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 and you still don't have your answer.
Exactly. We're getting some more questions. So we're going to come back to some of this, Monica. Well, we're going to address your question later. And what are some of the other things we can do? So question always comes up of, so one thing we've seen is, however the human ask, and human beings, it's fantastic that we are all so different. We think differently, we speak differently, we ask the same thing differently. And that's usually what trips up these systems, because if it's not, and then you don't want the person to get frustrated. Oh, come on, But,
Right.
but Sheri can answer it, knows what you're asking for. So, and in any language, right? So we've only uploaded that document in English. So let me start a new chat here. So let's say, what is the amount I can spend for a hotel in Brazil? Okay, there's a rate table in hotel. Okay.
Well, it just came to my mind that you mentioned Brazil, but this bot also immediately, right, can express in different languages.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah. Let's try that. So that's just to show. So I'm going to go here, and then go to Google Translate English to Portuguese, because obviously you need to speak Portuguese if you're in Brazil. So since I'm not a Portuguese speaker, let's see, I'm just going to copy and paste that question here. There you go. I assume that's right. So pretty much any question that you can ask in English, it will give you the correct response back in that language that you ask it. It's pretty funny when I ask in kanji in Japanese, it starts writing right to left, but okay. So now it's not just for T&E and travel, obviously for our friends and joining from the procurement side. I found this document from the Friendly Health NHS Foundation Trust of Procurement Policies. I did nothing to it, and I have no idea really what's in it. But then I created a topic. Let's go here. If I click there, there's an NH procurement topic. And the only thing I did here, as you can see, is you're a procurement policy manager and you understand something about UK government policies and public sector procurement. Okay, that's all I did. Okay. Tell me the requirements if to run a tender for a contract with a value of, say, £200,000. It's a very long document, by the way. It's actually, I didn't find that. I looked for something like this. Took me a few minutes to even find where this thing was. What evaluation criteria must be used to award the tender?
Keesup, when you have a good place to stop, we do have some questions.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Audience. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's see.
We can start with the first question. Does Sheri work with Google?
In terms of, yes, yes, absolutely. If you're use Google as your authentication, absolutely does. In fact, that's what we use. So this is on my Google account. Let's see. How do we train Sheri on our policy? Literally drag and drop your policies, or you can point it at your SharePoint, or for Mark, we're by this time next month, you can point it at your Google Drive. It's literally drag and drop, you're done. So let's go back to what we've just done. Go back to what we created, which is which one did we create? This is the one we created just now from scratch. So what we're going to do here is to turn up the temperature a little bit and give her more information that might be more helpful to users. So one thing others have done, I think it's a good idea, is here's a Wikipedia page of visa requirements. So I'm literally just going to copy and paste that in, add that. So now it's digesting that, incorporating that with the policies, all of that's happening behind the scenes. It's all in real time. Let's hope it works. Okay. Still running. Okay, done. So Wikipedia is actually not the good one to use, by the way, only because every single content on the document Sheri will digest, and half or more of a Wikipedia page will have citations, but it doesn't matter. I just want to do something easy. So we're going to turn this into a knowledgeable mode. And what this means is instead of being only, Sheri can interpolate based on what's there, even if you ask a question that's not there, will actually give the correct answer. This is, well, I'll illustrate. Okay, so now here's where we're creating this person. Instead of a chatbot, you are T&E policy assistant. And you know about corporate travel, expense policies. You also know about visa requirements. Okay. And you're friendly and helpful. So you can see what we're doing. So what we're doing is giving you the way to control this topic to meet your requirements. You can say something like any questions outside subject, reply, good if I can, subject, reply, contact, travel at tidg.org, which is, okay, see, done. So now let's ask, okay, I am flying to Turkey on business. Do I need a visa? See, very friendly. So that safe travels didn't exist before. Not very friendly, okay. Can I get this visa? Wait, let's see. Is there an e-visa available? Okay, so it doesn't say for Turkey, but it tells you. So I've just added that information that she didn't have, and I've included that into this, and it's literally that quick. Okay. How are we doing on time? Pretty good. Okay, so we're going to move away from just chatbots and really talk about how these models can help you run your business almost like another member of staff. So one commonality, I haven't met all of you. Thank you so much for joining. I have met lots of you, our clients. And one complaint that I have yet to hear is that my company always give me too many resources than I need for my team. I don't know what to do with all these headcounts. I've never heard that complaint.
It's funny, I haven't said that either.
So wouldn't it be great if we can actually now create agents or operatives or virtual team members who actually can do things for us and help us. So first one I thought it'd be fun to create is I've created Sarah, who's a T&E consultant. So all of those big consultancy bills that you guys have been paying, maybe you can actually create Sarah instead. So has the same policy. There's nothing different here. I've just made her corporate travel, business expense policy, sustainability, and knowledge of industry best practices. Based on industry knowledge, you can identify policies, ways to improve existing policies. You're very thorough. And that's as easy as that, really. So I said, based on industry best practice, can you use our current policies at PIDG and suggest any additional ones? Okay, so sustainability policy, sustainable travel policy would be good to actually include. Accommodation policy, current policy requires employees, directors use the most cost efficient. Therefore, additional guidelines in place to ensure the accommodations are also sustainable. Yeah, meal policy, food and drink, additional policies to encourage sustainable, healthy eating habits. It's a lot of sustainable stuff. So I can say, okay. Now, Sarah, I've created Sarah to be able to do more than just answer Q&A. So we're generating things. Remember, generative AI. So please write me a draft of a new sustainable travel. Let me fix my spelling. Sustainable travel policy for PIDG. That's a good starting point, actually. It's missing one thing that I can see. Okay. This is great. Yeah.
What's interesting there is that when you showed us the actual policy, Sheri followed their, not only language accurate, brand new, but accurate, but it also has the same formatting and everything that the original policy had. So yeah, it digested the format as well.
Exactly. So I bet you, I won't do it now. I bet you the numbering, all that, it's copy and pasteable without any issue. This is great, but can you also add, also encourage use of virtual meetings instead of physical travel and rewrite for me. There you go. So I think it's great. So this, we're using Sheri internally at PredictX. Our productivity has gone off the roof. And this is some of the little things that she can do just to review the policies, compare against standards is a day probably for someone's time. Having somebody then write a first draft, how many, it's not instant, right? It takes time. So this is just one. Let's do another quick one for Sarah. Okay. Let's say first say a little something really simple. So, we're doing language right now, but she can do math and do other things that's a bit more complex. So I could say, let's see, show me the hotel rate cap tape, hotel rates as a table. So this is in, I know this is in the document somewhere. Okay, this is the Hiltoreki cap table by country. So let's see, I've been getting complaints from LATAM that our rate caps are too low post-pandemic. Let's see, can you generate the same table, add a column with the rates plus 15%, say. If we had more time, which we don't, I've done this, so I know we can do it. I can ask Sherry to get the latest purchasing power parity rates, PPP, from the OECD, and then calibrate versus the USA prices at 355 and regenerate everything to make sure. And it does actually point out that LATAM is way too low, by the way, okay? So this is Sarah as your own personal consultant on your team doing these sort of things.
Yeah, this is so cool, Keesup. I was actually asked to perform this morning. It's something exactly like this.
There you go. Then use it here. You can copy and paste. Done. Okay. So let's go to let's say for our, especially for our procurement friends, we have Tim, who's an SLA analyzer. Okay. So for Tim, I have 4 SLAs from Adobe, SAP Concur, Microsoft, and I have a URL to Google, and that's it. And then I can say things like this. I can say, please look through the SLA of our vendors and tell me all the ones that have termination for chronic failure or non-performance. So the only one that has it is Adobe. Poor performance meets the definition of chronic failure is defined by Adobe, etc. The sake of time, I won't go on with this one, except I'll do one thing just really quickly and saying, for SAP last month, it was down for 50 hours. My monthly fee is 100,000. Let's see, how much credits am I due? Work this out step by step. 2%, 1%. Calculate system availability. Okay, which is that? 43,000 minutes. There you go. 1,880 for the month I'm due. Can I say, please save this in our records to use in the next QBR. Yeah, they will then save this. Understood. I'll save the information in the next QBR. Okay. Pretty cool, right? Got a few more minutes. Let me just do a quick thing. It's too much to do, show, and too little time. We're gonna run over, I think. And if you guys are interested, please stay on with me. I'll just do this really quickly because someone asked about an AI travel agent. So all we did here is we took the same policy documents, we connected, because we have connectors to the GDS, we did a tiny sample of content, married against the preferred programs to then say something like, now, for this example, the preferred hotels, I think are shared. I forget what they were, actually. I have to.
Keesup, this is perfect because we actually have a question that says, can it actually help you create an air, hotel, or ground reservation?
Okay, yeah, I have a trip from New York to LA, then to Phoenix, let's say, then back to New York. Then you suggest an itinerary. Alternatively, business class for all trips. Well, of course, I'll take business. Okay, what hotels can I stay at in LA and Phoenix? Checking. Need to check the content, make sure it's available. Oops. Okay. So it didn't find the content for the hotel here. But anyway, you get the idea. So let's go back. Let me start this one more time. New chat. For I know we do for show me a comparison if I took all Delta or all United in business class in terms of price and, let's say, CO2. Okay, so Delta it is. So that's pretty cool. What we did here was we took the information and put it through a CO2 calculator and put that in the content as well. So then if that's a big issue, your travelers can take that. So this is just a tiny proof of concept we did. We don't have the last bit, which is now book it, right? But you get the idea. This is a starting point. If any of you are interested, it could be the most incredible online booking tool. It's not a tool, online booking person you could ever have. Just a couple more things, and then we'll stop. We're going to run out of time. So we're going to skip to Tara. So Tara, let me find Tara, is an ops agent. So Tara is an operations manager who reports to me, Keesup. She can diagnose problems, prioritize issues and tasks, and write engaging emails, and so on and so forth. And what we did for Tara is we grabbed some transactions of booking data, pre-trip booking data, put it through our models that identify policy issues and so on and so forth, and said, okay, today we'll grab them and say, okay, imagine you had Tara now working for you, you coming in the morning and said, hi, Tara, what are the key issues today? Health and safety issue with Pierre, logistics, who's booked for travel to Venezuela without security review. There's a business continuity issue with several executives on the same flight. Let's see, there's a tax issue with Marco Rossi. And then there's a hotel policy violation and 3 air policy violations. Which one should we ask Tara to deal with now? What do you guys think? What's most interesting to you? Health and safety, tax, continuity. Well,
Let's do health and safety.
okay, great. Tell me more about the health and safety issue. Okay, the class, no booking note indicating security review. Okay, so I would say, so what do you think we should do then? Okay, yeah, I need to do about that issue. Okay, it's okay. All right. please write an email to Pierre. Let's see. I won't even tell her what to write the email about. Okay. Could say, let's see. I hope she writes to him about the health and safety issue instead of how are you? Let's see. Ah, there you go. It's nice, huh?
Much faster than I can write.
Well, check this out. So I tried this now. Let's do this one more time. This is really cool. Tell me all the issues we need to work on today. Show me as a list. Okay, we got health and safety, air policy violations, hotel policy violations, business continuity issues, tax issue, okay? Now remember, you want to empower Tara because you're a good manager. You're not a micromanager. Tell me what you propose to do to investigate these issues. So let me go back. So Tara says she's going to contact Pierre to confirm the purpose of his trip, aware of the security issue, check if there are any company policy guidelines in place for high-risk destinations. Contact the TMC account manager, Karen Longbridge, to inquire about any security review approval process for this trip. Air policy, review the company's air policy, understand specific violation, contact the travelers, confirm travel itineraries, Hotel, identify the traveler violated the policy, Seems okay to me. Sounds good. Go ahead. Okay, they're gonna confirm all this with me. It's now giving me more detail. Okay, then I could say something like, write all of the emails you propose to write. Show me all of them.
Hey, Keesup, just out of curiosity, how does Sherry do with like misspellings?
Oh, it doesn't, it understands that humans have flaws.
Good.
You can spell the same thing. It understands all the various misspellings. Yeah. So there's written all the emails at once. Now I can review. Anyway, stop that.